I'm a big fan of the almost flagship smartphones we've been seeing over the past couple of years. Devices that offer a lot of the features of the higher end models, but at a much lower cost. I'm talking about phones like the Google Pixel A line, the iPhone SE, and this, the Samsung Galaxy S FE, or Fan Edition. The latest Galaxy S21 FE was released last month, and it's got a lot of good going for it, along with just a couple of things that I think missed the mark. Let's talk about it. Now let's get started by talking about the display. The Samsung Galaxy S21 FE display is pretty nice. It's 6.4 inches, making it slightly larger than the 6.2 inch Galaxy S21. It's an OLED panel with 1080p resolution and a 120 Hz refresh rate. Also, if you care about this, it has almost no side bezels at all. And it also has a flat display, which I much prefer over curved edges personally. Now at the top of the display, you'll find the front selfie camera behind the hole punch cutout. To be clear, the screen is large and bright with that buttery smooth refresh rate. It certainly feels flagship worthy. By the way, if you want to check out the Galaxy S21 FE for yourself, I've got a link down in the description below. Next, let's talk about performance. The Galaxy S21 FE includes the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 processor, at least here in the US. That's the top of the line Qualcomm chip, and the same you'd find even in the Galaxy S21 Ultra. This is a 5 nanometer chip and is incredibly powerful. And until we see devices with the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, this is the one to beat. Where the Galaxy S21 FE differs is that it offers 6 gigabytes of RAM rather than the 8 gigabytes you'd find on the standard S21. So you get a little less, but I rarely notice any stutters or slowdown when using this phone. I played some Call of Duty Mobile, and while the phone did get a little warm, which any phone would do, it kept up with the action without issue. The one place I felt a little bit of lag is in the live preview when doing portrait shots, but that certainly didn't affect the image quality. So when it comes to performance, again, it feels flagship worthy. Now, since I just mentioned it, let's talk about the camera. On the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE, you'll find a very capable triple rear camera setup. In fact, the phone sports the same main rear camera as the standard Galaxy S21, a 12 megapixel f1.8 sensor with optical image stabilization. The other two cameras are different though. The telephoto is 8 megapixels with 3x hybrid digital / optical zoom, compared to the Galaxy S21's 64 megapixel with true optical zoom. The ultra wide is just slightly less wide than that of the Galaxy S21, but it's not very obviously so, and not enough for me to care. When talking about the front camera, you get a 32 megapixel sensor with fixed focus as opposed to the autofocus lens on the standard Galaxy S21. And when it comes to the main camera, photos are bright and saturated, exactly as you'd expect from a Samsung device, and night mode gives an impressive amount of detail if your subject is still. It's not the very best camera in its price class, as I'd give that to the Pixel 6, but it does a really good job. Next, let's talk about the battery. This is an area where the Galaxy S21 FE does better than the standard Galaxy S21. This means longer battery life and more time between charges, which is really important if you're out and about all day and don't want to worry about your phone dying on you. The FE has a 4500 milliamp hour battery built in, and even with the display set to 120 Hz and being a power user, I find that it lasts throughout the day, even if I end up in the single digits percentage-wise when all is said and done. You can get a little more out of it if you change the display refresh rate to 60 Hz instead of 120, but unfortunately, there's no adaptive refresh rate like you'd find on the standard S21 lineup. When it comes to charging, the S21 FE supports 15 watt, kind of fast wireless charging and faster 25 watt wired charging. There's no power adapter in the box with purchase, just the USB-C charging cable, just so you know. And that brings me to price. Price was one of the biggest selling points of the Galaxy S20 Fan Edition, and I think Samsung hopes it will be the same with the S21 FE. Now the issue is, there is meaningful competition that provides a similar or even arguably better experience for $100 less than the cost of the FE, namely the Google Pixel 6 with its better camera, more premium build, and more RAM. However, I could be looking at it wrong. Just look at the name. It's the Fan Edition. If you're a Samsung fan and you want that Samsung experience, then you probably aren't looking at a Pixel in the first place. Instead, you're looking at getting a lot of the best features of the Galaxy S21 at about $100 less, until you realize that Samsung's next major flagships are going to be announced in just a matter of days, which means the true Galaxy S21 non-FE will be seeing big price cuts. Would you rather buy a Galaxy S21 FE for $699 or the actual Galaxy S21 at $699 or even less? I have no complaints with the hardware and functionality of the Galaxy S21 FE. I just wish it came a little earlier in the year rather than a month before the rumored Galaxy S22 lineup is set to debut. Now, as we've seen with chip shortages and everything else going on in the world, I'm sure that's way easier said than done. Now, if you want to pick up the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE for yourself, I've got a link down in the description below. Thanks for watching as always, guys. I appreciate your support. I'm Andrew Edwards, and I'll catch you in the next video.